Hey, this is Brandon Tanev of the Seattle Kraken, and you're listening to Chasin Birdies.
We are back this week on Chasing Birdies, and it is an eventful week kicking off the week here on Thursday with the FedEx Cup kicking off, Live going on down at the Greenbrier. You're in Florida, I'm in St. Martin, and we're still getting this shit done, my man. What's shaking?
And not much, buddy. Just came off the boat, did a little sand dollar digging.
Yeah, you better put that in your pocket.
Yeah, oh yeah. I didn't know. Did you know that there's sand dollars are a living thing? Did you know that?
Yeah, I did, actually.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
Yeah, you couldn't tell. I mean, it's not like starfish where they kind of creep and crawl, but they're still living.
Yeah, so I'm coming to you live from a bunk bed in Florida. So today's episode is always brought to you by our boys at Red Vanley. So go check them out at redvanley.com. Give them a little click. I just played in a member guest with B-Cats. I can't tell you how many people at Yacht had these shorts on,
Dude, yeah. You made your grand appearance this summer here. Your first member guest, middle of August. So how'd it go?
Well, we came out swinging. We won our first two matches, 5-4, 5-4. Lost our third match, 6-3, to the eventual overall champions, Danko and Tyler Tracy.
Uh-oh.
Congratulations to them. They won in the shootout, which I'll get into that. And then Brendan and I were officially handed our worst member guest loss of all time to Mark Torgin. 7.5 to 1.5. We got beat.
Well, I mean, in all fairness to you,
they played out of this world. It's just because we made bogeys and they didn't have to make birdies.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's basically B-Cats and half of you. I mean, you barely have a left ankle right now still. So, but I mean, it's good for you to get back in competition a little bit.
Yeah, that's right, bud. I'm so glad you paid attention to me in surgery. But we had two happenings at the member guest that I've never witnessed before. One, a member knocked his own partner out in the parking lot. So that was interesting. Completely knocked him out cold, bleeding from the face. After he knocked him out cold, went to the pool and started basically floating.
He did not care. He did not care.
He did not care. Apparently, he said, "You don't disrespect the champion at his country club." Which my question to him is, if you're the champion, why were you in the pool while the shootout was going on? But that's neither near or there.
Right.
So that happened, which was interesting. Never saw police and ambulance and all that jazz. And then in the shootout, there's always supposed to be, they do it like Pete Dye, right? Like you get on 18, there's 2 teams there.
Yep.
We get on 18, there's 4 teams there. So 4 teams are playing the final hole in the shootout. You have 2 holes, 2 groups do 5-4, 2 groups do 4-3. What would you do in that situation?
The 4-3.
The 4-3s go into a shootout to win. Right? Is
that a trick question?
They took the 5-4s and had them go into a chip-off, and then one team advanced from there. So that team ended up winning the whole thing, who was Danko and Tyler Tracy, which is crazy to me. They were the highest 2 teams. Look, you're done. Sorry, guys. Pack your bags, and you're done.
Yeah, head on down 51.
There's only 2. Yeah. So, anyways, it was great though, dude. B-Cats had I don't know how much fun he had. I mean, his back was really, he was doing a lot of work. So, but how's your trip going?
Well, bud, I'm happy to hear that you're back out there swinging it, making an appearance. People are seeing Jonathan Pepe on the golf course again, so that's always a good thing. And I look forward to fall golf with you, man. And I'll tell you what, dude, I'm bracing here for, by the time this episode airs, hopefully everything's copacetic, but I'm bracing for my first tropical storm here in the Caribbean at St. Martin. Apparently something's coming up here earlier this week, so we'll see what's happening. But all's well, man. I did not bring the golf sticks on this trip. Take a little time off, but I had a good chance to catch up on a PGA Tour. Nothing too exciting with Aaron Rai winning there, but I am stoked to watch the St. Jude Classic this week. Loaded field. Dude, I got to tell you something, though. Have you seen what's going on with Graham McDowell?
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, a nasal decongestion, and I'm just like, if you're into drugs or something, just say it. But apparently, it was nothing like that. It was just an over the counter thing, and he's missing the old white.
That's crazy. Yeah, are you heading down there, bud?
No, bud. I'll still be in the Caribbean. But tropical, $125,000 fee, fine, crazy.
Fine, that's
Fine.
crazy.
But our guest today on Chasing Birdies probably knows a thing or two about fines, but the NHL really doesn't impose them too often. We still can relish in the fact that the NHL allows fighting, which we spoke about before. But Brandon Tanev from the Seattle Kraken is joining us here on Chasing Birdies. And I tell you what, man, it was good to connect with the man again, huh?
Mm-hmm. Good catching up with the old boy.
Yeah, a lot of good stories here from BT and whatnot. So, of course, he's a golf nut. And we'll dive into some topics there. But I don't know, man. Let's take it on over here.
Let's roll it on over to Brandon Tanev on the hot mic.
All right, we're back this week on Chasing Birdies. We got a puck chaser joining us again here on Chasing Birdies. And I would say what's cracking, because that would be appropriate. But we got Brandon Tanev joining us here from the Seattle Kraken, formerly of the Pittsburgh Penguins for the local yokels out there. My man BT, what's shaking, baby?
Not a whole lot. It's been a while since
I know.
I've seen you fellas, but it's great to see your faces and kind of yuck it up your hot stove for a little bit about things.
I know, bud. It's been, listen, I
feel like I'm looking at the same person a little bit.
Could be. Pretty good. Both pretty good golfers. Bash a little bit better than me, but pretty decent looking guys.
Well, he's got 6 inches on me, vertically speaking, but also probably bigger legs. But the hair, yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. Like, I have a thing. I don't know about you, but I've had this thought of, like, I'm actually going to cut my hair. I've had long hair now for 7 years. Every time I go, in fact, tomorrow I'm going to get a haircut, and I'm thinking in my mind, am I going to do it? I can't do it. Like,
I feel you. Everyone tells me, like, you should cut it, and I always think about cutting it, and then once I get in the chair, I never do it. I can never pull trigger on it.
We'll just do a little trim.
That's exactly what it is.
I feel like
a little trim.
The long hair for what you do in your life with the warm-ups is crucial. That long hair, but in the NHL, are you allowed to go out with no buckets on now in warm-ups?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a certain...
So you have to be grandfathered in now. I've been to the point where I'm allowed to go no buckets. I took a puck off the forehead a couple years ago. That sucked. I had to get stitches before the start of the game. But I mean, it's so cool to be buzzing around there, and then like you just got your hair in the wind, and you're just free flowing. It's like one of those things where it's like, oh damn, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, boys, that's one thing I want to do before I die. Get on the ice for a warm up, chew a big piece of bubble gum, let the gray hair flow a little bit. What, bud?
How did you get hit by a puck in warm-ups? Like one of your teammates, or what happened?
Yeah, so I was skating by the net, and like you never want to go too close, and like I kind of turned off, and then guy ripped one off the crossbar and just boom right off the forehead, and I'm like, God damn! So grab my face right into the locker room, stitches. Coach comes in, tells the starting lineup. I end up starting that game. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like looking at myself. I'm like, jeez. But you know what? It could have been worse. Maybe puck to the teeth or somewhere else.
That'd have been fucking. That's like Matt Barkowski. He still don't have a fucking tooth. He walks around with one tooth.
Yeah, I think he does it just because it makes him. He never wants to put it in, and Bart likes to have a little conversation starter, and that's halfway there.
That's his.
That's it.
That's his, dude. Have you talked to him lately?
I have. I talked to him last week. We always shoot the shit, and I always ask him how his golf game's doing, and he always asks mine. But Bart's awesome. He played with my brother in Vancouver, and then that's how I would be able to kind of touch base with him with I signed in Pitt, and Jesse and him were great to me when I spent my time in Pittsburgh. So it's nice to have a good friend in Bart, and he's a pretty not bad golfer, as much as I hate to say it.
Well, that's how we met you is when you were in Pittsburgh. So, I mean.
Yeah. Well, the first time I think I met Bash, we were taking that JR Tango, and I were driving up to play Pikewood, and we had those 8 guys.
Yeah, you got the Sprinter, dude.
You didn't have the Sprinter back then. We were sitting in the back of the of the back of the car. We were drinking Foster's oil cans.
Dude, I still fucking remember that when you guys rolled in there. And dude, Pep, so he plays lefty. He's lefty. Like
Yeah, but
Tango.
I was there. Like Tango, I was there. I played golf with Tanev.
Oh, you were there.
You drove number one.
We were just talking about that a couple weeks ago with JR because JR
I was
didn't
there,
believe it, but I saw it. I mean, he hit it over the left trees, and we
But it
get
was
up
like
there,
a
he's
hook. It
pin
was a
high.
hook for a lefty.
Right. We could talk about that, but that dude, no, you did.
Yeah, I remember because JR was like, "You didn't do it," and I was like, "I remember." Because I'm like, I hit one, and it was like over the left trees,
Yeah, he made a
and
good
everyone's
bogey.
like, "No, I just hit another one." So I probably did make bogey, to be quite honest with you. And I snap hooked my next one into the right trees, and then the caddy came running out. He's like, he was giving the thumbs up, and I'm like, perfect. Like,
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
And then, yeah, that's exactly right. But
Well, JR.
I
with
get
that
to hear
damn
updates on you from from JR with
yeah.
respect to Tanev.
We saw him last year. We went down, came down to Pittsburgh for a day or two. We played some golf, and he had the Sprinter brand buzzing, and it was good times. We got out
But
there
that's
and
that damn
played
Sprinter.
a couple rounds, but
That word Sprinter just makes my skin curl because it's like, dude, just I know how you get in here. I'm going to take the Sprinter. I know, dude. I know you're going to take the Sprinter 30 minutes down the road. Like, it's good. Do you want the Sprinter to come get you? Bash, how about I send you the Sprinter down to Morgantown? I'll come back and get you, and then we'll do this. It's like, dude, I can drive. Like, that's what people do nowadays. They drive.
if I had one of those things, I don't know if I could leave it. He picked me up in that last year. I was like, oh my god, like that thing is incredible.
Yeah, dude, it's sweet, and he is like way too generous. Like Pep's right. Like we were going up to see a show in Pittsburgh, and he's like, I'll send it down and pick you up, bud. But I'm like, I'm not getting turned up like you do. I'll just drive back. I appreciate the offer, but JR's the type of guy, dude. I was bitching to him one day about how I hate the boxes in my garage, like Amazon boxes, cardboard boxes, and he's like, dude, I got something for you. I'm like, what is it? I thought he was gonna tell me something, like how to fold them. He's like, what's your address? So I gave it to him, and a package shows up 2 days later, obviously in a box, which I hate, from Amazon. It's like this freaking electric knife that you just use to chop up cardboard boxes. My man just sent it to me. It was like, what a good friend.
Yeah, JR's an awesome dude.
He
I love grinding him about his golf game. That's my favorite thing. Grinding him about his golf game.
He sent me a nice little package when I was sitting on the couch, bud.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Very thoughtful.
So I will give him that.
When you get him and Tango together, dude, it's
God.
like a comedy hour. I can't even breathe because I laugh so hard.
It's exhausting.
Oh, it's like when he was telling me about you guys had golf at Nemacolin. Was it last couple weeks ago?
Yeah, 3
He
weeks
said it was
ago.
an unbelievable time. Like you guys were playing some good golf, and then you guys had some drinks buzzing, and you guys were shooting the shit, storytelling, hot stoving. It said it was just an incredible time.
Yeah, we did that for the two-man event we had here, and man, we had a great turnout.
We should invite
everybody
Tanev.
had a great time. We played 2 rounds of golf, had skins.
I'll come up. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. I'll make it up there next year.
Well,
We'll
listen,
send the Sprinter, bud.
that's the deal because we're adding a couple more spots. So
I'll tell JR the only way I'm coming if he sends the Sprinter.
oh shit.
I'll play with Bart. Bart and I will play together.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, God.
There you go. You know, the funny thing about Bart, my dad played with him at Pete Dye. And my dad said he's never seen anyone drink as many beers in his life in one setting. And my dad's like not really conservative, but he's not wild. But he's like, this guy just starts fucking drinking right at 5:30 in the morning. Never stops. I'm like, yeah, that's him.
I think that's where we all met. We met at Pete Dye in West Virginia.
Yeah.
We had that
COVID.
that we were playing that two-man group. Yeah, COVID. We were playing up in West Virginia. Noah, it was
Yeah.
Noah, Austin, and Bart. We came when I was at Foursome. And we played up there, and we had a hell of a time up there. That was good shit.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. So, what you been going on, man? Off season? How was the season? I mean, were you stoked to go to Seattle? New team? Pep, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Brandon go there when Fleury went as well?
I don't think Fleury went.
Hayden and I went to
Hayden,
Hayden and I went to Hayden and I went to Seattle together. So we were taking both in the expansion draft. I mean, when I signed in Pittsburgh, I signed for 6 years, so I was extremely excited to get down to the city and the organization, the franchise. I mean, storied franchise, so many Stanley Cups. I mean, playing with Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, and then you meet so many great people outside the rink. There's you guys, other people as well, and it was close to home. It was a 4 hour drive, so there were so many advantages and amazing things that came with being a part of the Penguins. And then obviously when you get taken into Seattle, it's a change of scenery. It's part of the business. Things happen so often, and especially in our game. No matter who you are or what you've done for an organization, things can change of a snap of fingers. But in that saying, it was pretty cool to go down to a new franchise, a new city, and start to build a hockey team in a city that's really never had an NHL franchise. So in that sense, it was amazing. You're part of a new franchise, a new city. You get to build this team. You get taken in an expansion draft, and you see how much it means to the people, the city. The fans are unbelievable. It's such a good sports town, but at the same time, it was a little sad leaving because you leaving so many good friends behind in that sense. So it's one of those things where it was a little bittersweet, but you were so excited to get down to Seattle and start this new journey and build this new franchise in a new city.
Yeah, that would have to be a little bit. You get kind of settled in. We talk about this all the time with these athletes. You get settled into whatever, a routine or a city, and next thing you know, you get the call, you're on the go. Hey, I'm getting traded. Or in this case, however this expansion worked, I don't know. But that would be the hardest thing I feel like about being a pro athlete, because you just, I don't know. I don't want to say you just never know, but you really don't at the end of the day.
No, I mean, it's for sure tough. I mean, especially guys that, had families and with young kids, and, you're picking up and moving. It can be a little tough at times, and getting organized, finding a place, or maybe finding schools, or getting them in routines and situated. For me, it was easy. Just pack your bags and kind of pick up and go. There was no really like getting organized with family and kids in that sense. So for me, it was a lot easier than I would say other guys that had families. But I mean, Seattle was great in the sense of kind of putting us towards people like a real estate agent, or giving us understanding of what we kind of needed to do and anything we needed help with. It was right away there were answers, there were phone calls. So it's one of those things where it's as difficult as it is. The team and the organization had the right people helping us manage that.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing is, like you said, you don't know the situation you're going into. None of you guys knew what you were going into in Seattle. And you've had some successes in 3.5 years of an expansion team. So that has to make you feel good because you've been there since day one.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the first year I think was a little difficult, but you saw how passionate and like excited the city, the fans were to have us there. It's there was games that were really tough, that we weren't playing well in, but the fans, the excitement, it never left. I think how great the people and the town is with all sports, the Seahawks, the Mariners. There's so many great, sports organizations within Seattle. And we were very lucky to have, very passionate fans. And then second year, we went to the second round of the playoffs, lost in Game 7, which was awesome. And I mean, you're fighting for the Stanley Cup. It's war out there. And then last year didn't go as planned with us not making the playoffs. But there's ups and downs in professional sports from year to year, but I think you all get excited and hungry now, at least when August and September roll around, because the season is right around the corner for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming fast. It's coming like, fast.
Literally snap your fingers and, it's almost the end of summer.
Well, and that's the thing too. If you have a deep run, then it's really short.
Yeah. I mean, like, we trained with a bunch of the Oilers at our gym, and they got back and now it's like they've been training for a couple of weeks now, and it's like there's really no time to kind of kick the feet up and relax. Maybe you have a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks, as opposed to maybe taking 4 weeks off. If you don't make the playoffs, and you're right back on the ice, you're right back working out, and next thing you know, you're on a flight back to your respective city.
Yeah, that's I don't know. But, that's why you get paid the big bucks. You know what I mean? Like, you got guys that are going to retire at 33, 35. You know what? Kick it back for a week and a half, crack the Pacifico, and then fucking hit the road, hit the ice again.
Yeah. It's, we're all fortunate enough to do what we love. And like you said, those times where you do have a week off, whether it's you sit by the lake or you go on the golf course, hang out with your buddies, have a couple beers and just, have your downtown, sit by the fire, kind of shoot the shit like we're doing, having a hot stove with the boys. And those are the simple things that mean the most, that kind of, get you back to where you need to be before you have to go do whatever it is you do.
I love it, man.
For you, when you went to Seattle, you had some familiar faces on the team. Jared McCann. I don't know who else went from the Penguins.
Alexiak used to play on the Penguins. I hadn't met him before, but like you said, Canner was with me in Pittsburgh, and I think it's tough for us to kind of all like mesh and blend. But I think in any sport or any environment where you're meeting new people, you just thrust yourself into it and just break that barrier as quick as you can, because the faster you can do it, the easier it becomes.
I feel like I'm on the bench right now, boys.
Huh? Look at him drinking that.
I feel like, hey, coach, am I getting back in or what? Here, bud? I haven't had a shift in 10 minutes.
He carries that water bottle around. It kills me. You're how old now? 30?
32.
32. So, you still got time in your career. You've had a very successful career in the NHL. And for some reason, I remember, and I didn't even look this up because I just remember you playing at Providence.
Yeah.
Every time I see Providence now, I think of you, cause just from when we first met. I just always kind of connected there. But
those were simple and great times back in the day.
I just flew back from there today.
Where were you out there? Newport or Narragansett, or playing some golf?
No, I work with a jewelry store there, Providence Diamond, and
nice.
They are in Cranston.
Yeah, Cranston, Rhode Island.
Yeah. So we had a dynamite meal last night, some Italian restaurant that was like top 100 in the world, I guess, for a long time. The best food I have ever had, Italian-wise, in a long time.
They've got that strip there, Federal Hill, where all the Italian places are. It's unbelievable food.
Yes, so good.
I've never been to Rhode Island.
Like summertime, it's like so beautiful. There's some good golf courses, like beaches, like Narragansett, Newport. Like, I guess you can compare them to like Boston, Cape Cod, Nantucket, just kind of, hour or two away from where those are.
So you off season in Toronto, or do you normally where?
Off season Toronto. It's with how short the off seasons are, get, depending on like how far you go in playoffs or what you do in the summertime. It's nice to be back home with family and friends and try to spend as much time as you can with them.
And your brother, does he still play in the league?
He just signed with the Leafs for 6 years.
No shit.
Yeah, so he's back home now, hometown boy coming home. So our family's super pumped, excited. He's happy to be back home too. It's exciting for him. Wherever you're from, like you always dream about putting your hometown jersey on, and he gets to do that now. So it's a pretty special moment for him.
That's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, he's pretty pumped up. It'll be a lot, I'm sure, at times for him, but once he's been around long enough to know how to deal with things, so it'll be good. He's super pumped.
I think that's the thing too, that you got to get used to not answering for all the ticket requests and things like that, because when you're playing in your hometown, that's a pain in the ass, dude, because you got friends now that you haven't talked in 25 years to, and they want tickets and things like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be a little difficult, but I think once you get into the flow of things in the season, and he's busy and he's with his family and just playing games and concentrate on that. I think keep your mind away from distractions, I guess, if you want to say that aren't gonna. But I mean, like anything in life, you just do what you need to do and have an understanding of what makes you successful. So I think that's probably what he's thinking. But I mean, play for your hometown team's pretty dialed.
That's pretty sweet, yeah.
Pep, we got a pretty good Toronto story.
Which one?
The boat.
Oh my God, Tuna Tom. So we went to Toronto, and correct me, Bash, if I'm wrong anywhere here in this story, but we went to Toronto for my bachelor party.
Okay.
This is 2015. 15, but I was married. It'll be 10 years next year.
Yeah.
Tell you how good of a husband I am. But we're going to go fishing. We go out Friday night in Toronto, and then we're going to go fishing on the lake.
Lake Ontario, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go salmon fishing. So the real deal is out with us, and can't find them. Morning of, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Do you know Justin Fox?
I don't know.
Okay, so he was his best friend from Toronto, and we found Justin Fox, and we were good, but Nealer was out. So, dude, I'm not kidding you, we're 3 miles out in Lake Ontario. Would you say it was that far, Bash?
I would.
I would. No cell phone service, no nothing. We're out in Lake Ontario fishing. We're catching salmon. We're eating alive but bugs.
We did.
And the captain comes up and says, "Hey, do you guys have a friend that's coming out here?" We're like, no, because like we didn't communicate where we are on the lake, dude. Not 20 minutes later, this what kind of boat was it, Bash? Like a dinghy.
It's like a dinghy, like one of those like rafts with a little 6cc.
Yeah, you got like a 5'4" Asian driving the boat, and you got 6'4" James Neal sitting next to him. And on the back of this dinghy says Tuna Tom. And he gave Tuna Tom, I think it was like $200 to like come find us. None of us know to this day how he found us in the middle of this lake.
And I also don't recall how he got off of that boat and jumped on our boat. I can't remember how that worked out.
Well, he jumped from the boat, from the dinghy, but
Nealer.
the dinghy gave out from underneath of him, and so he like caught the bars, but like slammed into the boat with his legs in the water. It was hilarious.
That's in Nealer fashion, just searching Lake Ontario for the boys.
Yeah.
Tuna Tom. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
That's why I said that was a great story. I mean, you did paint a good picture. Yeah, it wasn't that bad of a... I'll give you an 8.5 describing it.
Thanks,
but
man.
It was fucking 12 out of 10 if you were there, Tanev. It was funny as shit.
I go with my buddies every summer. We go salmon fishing too on Lake Ontario, and like when you're out there, you got no idea where you are, and the fact that Nealer's on this little dinghy buzzing around, and then all of a sudden he pulls up to you guys. I can only picture it. It's unbelievable.
Tuna Tom found us. I don't understand how, but he did, and it was hysterical. So
Though that lake is just massive.
Oh, it's big. Yeah, it's like I think if you rip it, you can rip it right across, right to Buffalo. It's not that bad. Like you get over there in like I think in an hour, a little less than an hour.
What's the 5 lakes? Let's see if anybody knows them.
Oh boy, Lake Ontario, Superior, Huron. Oh boy,
Isn't it Holmes?
Erie.
Yeah, Holmes, Erie.
What's the end?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh yeah,
Milwaukee.
Michigan.
Mississippi.
We did it. Shit.
3 of us
That's
to
dumb
figure out
stuff.
Holmes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, dude, I'm traveling this weekend coming up here, and this hurricane Debbie's rolling through.
I mean, but don't get me started on this.
No, but you know what I'm talking about. Do you know about this hurricane? Anyways, it's coming up Florida. It's going to disrupt air travel this coming weekend, and I'm headed down to the Caribbean. So I'm like, well, shit, we might get... Pep told me today, he's like, you're probably going to get delayed, and I don't know, but...
That's why I flew out of Providence. Great airport. Give them a 9 out of a 10 on the airport. Small, easy to get through. Badass airport, dude. The car rental place, easy to return the car. I was supposed to fly out of Boston, and I woke up after a little long night in in Providence, and flight canceled. So I scrambled. So I took Breezy Airways home, and I sat on the wing. That's where they had my seat, and not bad though. I only got delayed 4 hours on that one.
I had some friends flying from Florida. They were going to go to Europe, and they were a couple recently. They were like within the last couple of days, and they were like a couple of days delayed. But I feel like now, like every time I'm flying somewhere, I'm getting delayed too, or something's going on. Like, or if I'm talking to friends or family, if they're trying to go somewhere, like it's always like a short delay, or even like one of those ones that could be hours. And
it's always something, and that's back to the beauty of being a professional athlete, because after the game, boys, you throw the suit on and you walk to the bus. I miss those days. You walk to the bus and then you get on the plane that's waiting for you. You got meals. You don't have to go through security. Do you go through security?
Only so, like, if we're coming back from, like, if we were playing in Vancouver and flying back into Seattle, then we got to go through U.S. Customs at the airport. But we're flying into the private space, so then they have the border assistants waiting for us. I mean, all the Canadian guys have our visas. It's a lot easier for the U.S. guys because the U.S. passport, right? But like you mentioned, like the luxury and how nice that is for us, traveling. It's probably one of the best things about, being a pro athlete is kind of parking the car, grabbing your luggage, walking on the plane. And the stewardesses that we have all year are usually unbelievable. They're so good at what they do. And I mean, you got us sitting on a plane for 7 hours yelling at each other, playing cards. And I'm sure it can get annoying sometimes. And you're doing that for months of the year. And you got
41 games of the year on the road. Yeah.
You got idiots like me yelling at another guy when we're playing poker, or 13 up, 13 down when you get punted or something like that. So, they do us a lot of solids.
So you have the same stewardess.
So the stewardesses will change like every season, but once the season starts, we have the same 3 stewardesses for the full year.
Are they generally male or female?
It's usually 2 females and 1 male. For at least for the amount of time I've been playing, that's how it is. And they're good. They get to know your names. They get to know what you like to have after a game, whether it's like a beer or certain things. Like some guys like a candy bar, stuff like that. So like they're unbelievable. They do so much for us.
It's like Southwest boys.
I love that, because I feel like you being the type of person you are, like you could become buddies with someone like that. You know what I mean? Like Sally. You met Sally on a tarmac over in coming back from the Coyotes game. And then by the end of the year, Sally knows everything about you. She kind of wants to, hey, can I get you a beer? And you're like, thanks.
It's true.
Sally.
Like I ran into one of our old stewardesses I had like 3 years ago at the airport. I was flying somewhere, and she happened to be walking through the airport too. And then we ended up stopping and saying hi to each other and caught up for like 10 minutes. It was like awesome. And it was
That's great.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where it's such a small world, and then you run into each other, and then you say hi, give each other a hug, and chat for a little bit, see how life's going, and things like that. So it's like one of those things where you unexpected friendships, and then like when you see each other again, it's like you kind of never left off, right?
It's like running into your 3rd grade teacher. I love it.
I'm waving. I should say hi, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So for travel, like you just mentioned Edmonton, and man, you talk about a pain in the ass series, because generally there's one travel day and then you play in the Stanley Cup Finals. There might be a 2-day and somewhere in the 7-game series, but not the whole way through. And that travel that they had to go from Edmonton to Fort Lauderdale, how much does that wear on a player like yourself in a Stanley Cup final?
I think it's our travel too is extremely tough being on the West Coast. Like when we're flying out east, we're 6.5 hour flights sometimes. And I mean, but as the season goes on, I mean, in the more years you play, you definitely get used to it. But I mean, Stanley Cup Finals, like you're playing into June, and you're in a 7-game series, and not everybody is healthy at that time. So guys are pretty banged up and worn down, and you're flying back across the country, 5, 6 hours, and I think you're just trying to get as much rest and recovery as you can. But I mean, it's definitely a wear for sure. I mean, the good thing about it is both teams are doing it, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like, one team's flying X amount of hours and the other's not. So you got both teams doing the travel. It's Stanley Cup Finals. I'm sure I've never been to it, but I think in those moments you've got a heightened sense of adrenaline and a rush of things, especially in those moments. So maybe that helps overcome the fatigue from travel and the wear and tear from the season and the playoffs for sure.
It's a lot like a golf trip for us, right, Bash? Like we're so amped up to go to the golf trip, and then like I feel like I'm injured flying home after a 2-day, 3-day golf trip, and I don't want to say it's a lot the same, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, we don't, it's not like we're going out hitting bars and getting turned up till 2 a.m., man. We're playing like maybe a round and a half of golf, maybe 36, and then we sitting around having a couple
by 9 p.m.
Yeah, then we hit the hay by 9 and do it again the next day, but you're kind of gassed, I mean, I've been on trips, especially overseas, where we've played 36 a day walking. It wears you out, but I'm sure it's not like that's where those Normatec compression pants come into play, dude. Are those things not a game changer?
Oh, guys are laying in the aisle, or like horizontally in their seats with those too. Like anything you get, right? Like there's so many things nowadays that can help you push past and recover on and then there's some guys that don't do anything. They'll literally just they'll fall asleep on the plane, or like some of us play cards the whole plane ride home, and it's just like everyone's got their little routines and whatever makes them at their best. And it's like some guys do it, some guys don't. Some guys like to shut eyes, some guys like to read a book. We have like 10 or 8 guys that play Mario Kart on those Nintendo DSs. They all link up on Bluetooth, and they got a little game. And you got the guys that play cards, and there's another table that plays Super Tuck. It's like I've never played the game, but it's like a board with marbles and stuff too. And so you got like your sections of the plane where everyone's doing something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the younger guys who are kind of watching movies at the front, and you got the guys playing cards or Super Tuck, and you got the Nintendo DS guys, and you got the guys who just throw on the eye mask and fall asleep for the 6 hours.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. That's B-Cats. He'd be watching a movie with a little pillow puff on his neck.
Pillow puff.
So what's up with the golf game, man?
The golf game's been pretty good this summer.
Tell us about it.
So at the end of the year, a bunch of us went down to Scottsdale National. That was fun. That was a hell of a trip.
Ooh.
We did 12 of us flew down there. We rented a plane, flew down there, played 36 each day, like you said. And I mean, that kicked our ass. Like it was
and
90
it's hot
degrees.
there. Yeah.
And we flew in, we left Seattle 7 a.m, got there at 9, played 18, had lunch, played 18. We had the cabins on the course. We had the putting green at night with the golf carts with the lights. All the boys were hanging out, just doing our thing. And then next morning we woke up. It was like a 8 a.m. wake up, 18, lunch, 18 again, and then right to the plane, flew back to Seattle. It was like one of those things where you're in and out, but it was like that place is something special. That was such a good time.
I never played it, but that's the PXG cat, right? Isn't that?
That is the guy, the PXG
Parsons?
guy owns that. And so one of the guys ended up becoming friends with a couple guys from Seattle who were members there, and then they hosted us, and we had a blast out there. Like it was like you don't see anybody else. You can kind of play as you want, barefoot. You can play in casual clothes. You can play as a 9-some, a 10-some. You do whatever you want, right? It's kind of similar to the Grove in that sense. When you go out there and you just play golf, and you're with the boys and you do whatever you want, and it was a hell of a time.
I've never been to that course, but I definitely like that whole vibe of just kind of casual, lax, just to hang with the boys, playing some golf, looking all right, not having to wear like all your buttons buttoned up to your neck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want to put your hat on backwards. You want to maybe play the whole barefoot, like whatever. I mean, it's everyone's got a different fix when they play golf, and those spots too, like it's awesome. Like it's so easygoing. There's no like, I mean, golf's a traditional sport and every place is different and everyone sees it differently, but it's one of those things where it's like you just feel so relaxed. You're just hanging out with the boys. Things are good. When you hit a bad
It's
shot,
the
it is what it
best.
is. You got
Dude,
10 other guys laughing too.
Yeah.
You're serious about everything for 6 straight months, 7 straight months. All you want to do is let go, right, with the boys, and golf for you is that, and that's golf for me too. I've gotten to a point where it's like, I think Bash too. You can kind of agree with me is that I was that person wherever I went, I had the shirt tucked in and the hat forward and things like that. And I feel like over the last couple of years, probably because of COVID, because people were just happy that people were showing up to play, I've gotten way more lax on the golf side. Like when we go to Troubadour, I'm wearing gym shorts and a t-shirt, things like that. And I'm a guest there. So it's like you feel kind of uneasy doing it, but at the same time, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. And it is so much more fun, I think, because you're just like chill.
Oh, it's like, and I was down in Cabo for our bye week during the season. I got to play Chileno Bay and El Dorado.
Dude, how was that?
Shit.
I mean, those were all. El Dorado was like next level, unbelievable. I mean, the guys we played with, they had like the biggest JBL speaker I ever seen in my life. It had to have been like 3 feet by 5 feet, and they had it strapped to the top of their cart, and it was like you were at like a concert.
Yeah.
That's how loud the music was, and we were playing barefoot. We were in bathing suits, like basketball jerseys. Like everyone was, good golfers, and we were having a good time. A couple beers, cigars. The music was blaring. We were shooting the shit. Like it didn't feel like we were playing golf, to be quite honest with you. And then you look over to the hole, and you're right by the ocean. And it was like, fuck, it's like unbelievable.
Discovery
That's so sick.
Properties and like the Grove have it nailed. I mean, those Discovery properties are out of this world. And just everything, right? Just the vibe, the music, the range. There's no stone unturned. You show up to the range, there's all kinds of booze there. There's a bar there. There's the fire pits rolling. It's 100 degrees out, and for some reason, I'm sitting next to a fire pit smoking a cigar. I don't know why, but it feels freaking great.
Those comfort stations are.
I was just going to say that. How are they? How are they there?
It's the best thing. Like you go in there, and I mean the one thing, the guy was making fresh tacos, and they had like all these like different ice creams, and it's like the tequila, and it's like, well, you're putting me into this comfort station. I kind of want something, but I don't. But then you're leaving with just like an absurd amount of stuff, and you're just putting it in the golf court because you never know if you're going to take it or not. And it was like crazy good. Those places were, and then like the Grove too, like. That was so fun playing there. I remember the caddies were riding around on those on the motorcycles or scooters. So I jumped on one of those like for one of the holes, and I didn't know you had to shift your weight back and forth. So I'm like, I almost went right into like some stuff, and I'm like, I felt like an absolute idiot.
Well, the Kraken probably would have loved that phone call.
That's when I was in Pitt actually. Me and Kapanen went down there after.
Oh yeah.
After we lost to the Islanders in the first round, Cappy just bought a house in West Palm, and he's like, let's go down there, check out my house. I haven't seen it yet. And me and him spent 10 or 11 days down there together. We were just golfing every day, going and sit by the beach. It was a hell of a time.
Just living life, boys.
That sounds
times.
Shit, man. What a life. Dude, but I know someone that got on that scooter and absolutely broke his shoulder, broke his collarbone. Fell off right in a bunker. Childers. Yeah.
I was close to doing that too, to be honest with you. I had no idea.
Oh, Childers.
Well, Pep and I got 2 of those scooters, those fat scoots. And I can't even drive mine at any of my courses, but it sits in my garage and collects dust. But
I take it to the course.
Those things rip though, dude. That thing gets.
I drive it on the
over
main
20.
road.
Yeah, I know you do.
Just chuck your bag on the back and then take that. No, to the course.
We have a little like a golf bag holder on the back. So it looks so it's like a cooler, golf bag holder on the back, and then you got a headlight on the front. So if I get really buckled over at the place here, I'll people laugh because you'll see a headlight going through the dark in the golf course, and it's me.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody hit me, I'd be dead, but whatever.
That the senior PGA, they play, I think it's in Seattle The
Is that
Boeing Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what course they play? It looks awesome.
They had a Sahali maybe.
No.
I know that the woman, the LPGA had a event at Sahali, and that course is unbelievable.
Okay, you
And then,
ready?
yeah.
Actually, it's this week, dude.
Is it?
Yeah. The Boeing Classic, August 9th to 11th. The club at Snoqualmie Ridge.
Oh, Snoqualmie Ridge, yeah, it's really nice there. There's some good golf out in Seattle. I mean, the first year we all went to Seattle, I think we played a round of golf in mid-December. They have doors on the carts, and it was like 60 degrees. It was a little rainy, and then they have a heater in the cart. They put the heater in the cart, and you stay warm.
Go.
And we were out there. We were out there pegging them. It was like I don't golf as much, like to golf time in the season just because it's the hockey season. But I mean, when you have your spots, you have a couple days, and if the weather cooperates, whether you're on the road and stuff like that. But I mean, we played it was 65 degrees, little rain, and they had the doors and the heater on the cart, and it was awesome.
So our boy Steve Peering, you know Steve Peering?
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
About how many times a year does he text you for tickets, would you say?
Honestly,
Don't lie.
I'm telling you, he honestly never asks for tickets. Maybe once, maybe twice max. Like over like the years, I'm serious. Like he's never texted me
that's
asking me for
impossible.
I'm telling you.
This guy, dude, you've never seen anybody happen to be in the same city that the Penguins are playing in. Like he'll be like, "Oh man, I'm in Montreal this week." I'm like, "Well, Penguins are." He's like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab two." I'm like, "Bud, that's why you're there. You didn't just like you're not in Montreal selling scales, bud. Nobody in Montreal wants a tuna on a shirt."
Tuna Tom.
Tuna Tom. But dude's Peering. We give him such a hard time, but he is such a kind soul, dude. He's such a good
the
dude.
best. I remember when we first got out to Seattle, he set up a round for us at Chambers, and then we went to the True Factory, and the boys were in there and like treated us so well, and it was like nice to meet some other people in Seattle just because we were so fresh there, and he sorted us out, and they took such good care of us, like especially go play Chambers Bay and have some good guys to play with. That was awesome too.
Did you hear the story about Fleury with him when we went to Ireland?
No.
So Fleur flew into Pittsburgh like 2 days before we're leaving for Ireland. His bag doesn't get here. His clothes bag. Like we're going to Ireland for 7 days. He's got no clothes. So Pearing's like, "What's your size, dude?" And he's like, large top, 34 bottom, whatever it is. Dude, I think Peering even brought him a suitcase. It was to the gills packed because I roomed with Fleur in Ireland. Dude, every day was a new outfit with tags he's ripping off, and he's matching this shirt with the brand new shirt. It was hilarious, but Peering came through because his trip would have been miserable if he did not do that.
I couldn't imagine. That's a tough when you're going over there for a week and you're playing golf and you got no gear, especially if you're getting ready to saddle up for that trip.
Oh, yeah. Peering came through, though.
So long story short, we do love the guy, but I just wanted to get that out there, that question.
Chambers Bay I think Spieth won there. I think the US Open
they got because DJ missed the putt to go into a playoff on
it was
on
a pretty
18.
short one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they got the plaque where Spieth hit that famous 3-wood.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, like the view. It's literally nothing there. And it's so you can see the whole course from the top of the hill, every hole, like every waste bunker, every spot, and then the train rolls through, and then you're kind of right by the ocean, and it's like such a picturesque view. Like when the weather's nice, it's like one of the craziest views. Like it's so beautiful.
For you, you've played tons of golf courses in different countries and all that jazz. For you, what's the best just experience in golf course that you've been at?
Oh, that's it's tough. Like there's so many, like you go play like a course like Oakmont, the history, like the tradition, and then you do one like Pine Valley, like, or you go like to Sabonic, like the golf on Long Island, and play Friars Head or Shinnecock. Like I honestly, the discoveries are so great because of like what you're able to do, or the Grove, for instance. Like you're able to play in 10 guys and 12 guys, and you're not really like it doesn't feel like you're playing golf and like you're so free. But I swear I always tell everybody in my top five, I always have Pikewood in my top five. I love Pikewood. That day, like we went down and played it, and then hearing the story of the course, and then meeting you guys and meeting everyone else, like still all great friends with, and like I still remember that day because the weather was so nice, and some of the views and some of the holes, it was like this place is.
I probably haven't played there since then, so
it's special.
a special place though. It's such a cool place, and that's what you try to explain Pikewood to people. And it's hard to explain that, dude. It's in Morgantown, West Virginia, and like it's just so hard to explain. You have to show people photos of the holes because it is truly incredible.
The par three with the drawbridge, and I have that picture on my phone. I always show
14.
like my buddies, or 14, like with the kind of got the tiered cliffs, and it's like a little bit like
the greens above that cliff face, and you walk down and then up. Yeah.
I got a picture of that one, like, and it was the sun was shining. I always show like my buddies or people. I'm like, this place is like unbelievable.
You ever get time to come over here and peg it up with us, man? We'll do a little Pittsburgh Morgantown run
next summer, July 27th to 29th. We already got dates for the 2-man at Nemacolin, so you're in.
I'm done. If you guys are happy to have Bart, I'll come with Bart.
We'll present that to the board.
As long as there's a surplus of beer for Bart.
Yeah, we got that. But yeah, it's July 27th to 20th. It's so much fun, dude. Everybody gets along. It's a blast. It's just it's awesome. So
if you guys would have me, I'd love to join you fellas.
Well, you're in. We'll make that call now. You're in. JR would love it too. You're in.
JR the Sprinter, dude. You sure? Just let me get the Sprinter going.
He'll drive it to Seattle to pick you up.
Tell JR I'm going to send Tuna Tom's going to drive me to Buffalo, across Lake Ontario, and then JR going to have the Sprinter waiting for me
picking you up
in Buffalo, and then we go from Buffalo to
Tuna Tom. I feel like Tuna Tom can pull some strings.
I love it, man. Well, dude, it was awesome, man, having you on here. I know it's been a long time coming. So we're going to round this out with our standard tap-in segment presented by Bettinardi Golf. Check them out at bettinardi.com if you need a new putter. Pep's going to ask you 4 questions that demand your quick response.
All right. Would you rather hit the rink at 5 a.m. for practice or play a round of golf without your putter?
Play a round of golf without my putter.
Favorite place to spend in the off-season?
Maybe Muskoka, cottage country.
Every person has a cottage. Match play or stroke play?
Match play.
I like it. Yeah. And then on-course music of choice.
I'm a 70s guy. Phone in the back pocket and 70s.
All right.
70s rock.
70s rock.
Yeah. Okay.
70s rock.
Last question. What are you chasing?
I'm chasing a good time. I'm just hanging out with the boys. Simple times, easy birdies, no double bogeys.
I love it. Wouldn't that make golf easier? No doubles.
Yeah, it'd be so much more easier.
Shoot,
man. All right, bye, guys. It was so good to catch up, and I know you got to fine-tune those skills for the Kraken season. It's here upon us in about a month and a half for opening night. So thank you so much, and we will be seeing you at Nemacolin next summer for the 2-man. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me on. Miss you, boys.
Yeah, likewise, BT, and good luck this year, my man.
Thank you, fellas. Much appreciated.
All right. That was awesome. Our dude, Brandon Tanev, chatting about hockey, and I like to know buckets, dude. Like I said, dude, I know I'm 38 years old. My life's pretty much, I don't know. It's just beginning, but I want to go take a lap around the ice, bucket with a big, no bucket, big chug gum in there and just spitting around, yucking up the boys, huh?
Yeah, and the man's got the flow going, man. We talked about the hair a little bit. He's got the long hair and just flowing it out there. But great interview with Brandon. So we appreciate you coming on here on Chasin' Birdies, BT, and good luck this season over there in Seattle.
The Seattle Kraken. What's cracking, baby?
I know how like cliche is that, right?
I was thinking these guys are
But
losers.
now that you do have the dates for the 2025 Chasin Birdie's 2-man event, it sounds like BT's probably in the mix a little bit. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, that's great. He'll get the official invite. I mean, I'll show him a text with it.
Well, guys out there listening, listen, we're going to cut this outro a little bit short. My man Pep's got 2 kids hanging off his feet. He can't even talk right now. And I'm sitting on my ankles right now, which is typically how I sit anyways. But I don't know what else you want to talk about, my man. You got anything you want to say to the people out there listening?
Not much. Did anybody notice the
Doorbell ringing?
What was it? Yeah, the doorbell was nonstop ringing here. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Kids. This is birth control, people.
Yeah, birth control in the background right now. Make sure you go to nemacolin.com. Book your fall stay there. It's going to be a blast. Best time there is when the leaves are changing, and that's when I like to play a little fall ball. Shorts, quarter zip, vest, whatever it may be, check them out at nemacolin.com. Other than that, man, go enjoy your vacation. I'm going to go enjoy my vacation because I got to kick it back for, I got to Sea Island Friday, so.
Well, bud, you relax with those cigars. Get your ankle kicked up. Put it on ice. Tell the wife I said hello. And all you guys out there listening to today's episode of Chasin Birdies, we appreciate it very much. And we thank you for your continued support. Thank you to Allie, Evo, Emily over at Simpler Media for putting this thing together, and Rachel London, Jacqueline DiPaterio. Thanks for all y'all help. Enjoy the weekend. Live golf. PGA Tour playoffs kicking off. And we'll catch y'all in... Yeah, we'll catch y'all in 2.